Hey folks, Mr. Hartzler here. I want to talk to you in this video about how to use the manual debugger tool on RobotC, kind of how to turn motors on and off, move the servo around a little bit, and to see all the values that all of our sensors in here are going to show you. So we start off by going to Robot, clicking Open Debugger manually, then you have to wait for it to load. Once it's loaded, you'll see a lot of numbers down on the bottom. And the top one is our line follower, then we have potentiometer, light sensor, and then we have a couple of buttons. So starting off, let's hit the limit switch. That's this one down here. It has a small metal lever coming off of it. It's a 0 with it not being pressed. It's a 1 when it is being pressed. Bump switch is similar, it's this one here. If I push down on that, it registers as a 1. When I release, it's 0. The next one is the potentiometer. That's this one over here. Looks kind of funny. It's got a kind of a weird shape to it. And this one determines both position and direction of a rotation of a shaft. So if we're looking at the potentiometer, you can see the numbers now are spiking up to 4095 is max. And if I spin down, it's to 0. It does have mechanical stops on the inside, and you can, I guess, force it past those mechanical stops, but you will break the potentiometer in that process. It has 260 degrees of freedom, and you see on the screen there it went up to 4095, so it breaks that down in much smaller increments. Next one is the Ultrasonic rangefinder. That's this little fellow over here. It looks almost like a set of speakers, and that one determines distances to objects and has a range of 1.5 inches to 115 inches. In this case, I have it set up to centimeters. You can change that if you like. But right now it's 221 because that's its maximum option. If I put my hand in here, you can now see that it's changing. I get it down to 7 or 6. I guess we're even at 5 centimeters in there. We can get even lower. We can get around 2 or 3, and then it has a hard time kind of telling where we're at. Next one I want to show you is the line follower or tracker, and that's this little fella on the end. The number, if you look at it right now, our line follower is up in the 3000s. If I put my black marker on there, it's still sitting 2500, 2600. If I put the white part of my marker on there, it drops way down to the mid hundreds. 152 is kind of where it wants to settle at. So that's how I can maybe follow a line or at least distinguish the difference between colors. Light sensor is our next one. That's this one up in the corner. It actually almost looks like an LED light bulb. And that is right here on our screen, reading 120 right now. If I cover it up, it spikes up to 820-ish. If I release, it's 120. If I just put it in the shadow, you can see it's closer to 300. Next one I want to show you is the optical shaft encoder. That's this big brute over here. There are 2 wires going into that one. And if I spin that around, you'll see the quadrature encoder, or our optical encoder. It's moving. This one does not have a mechanical stop. I can spin round and round as many times as I want. Right now it started positive and it's going negative. And I can spin it the other way and it goes back very positive. And this will count the number of spins of a shaft or of a wheel. Next thing you might want to be able to do is turn on and off some motors. So if we go down at the bottom, you can see motors. Click on that. And I have a right motor, a left motor, and a servo. Maximum power and maximum angle for a servo is 127. Minimum is going to be negative 127. And if we look at our little webcam there, you can see I'm going to turn on the right motor. We'll do 50. And you can see that little thing spinning now. And I can change that back to 0. I can also change it so that it's negative 50. Hit enter. It moves the other direction. If I type in a 0, that'll stop it. Left motor is going to be the same. We'll crank it up to 127 for that. Set it back to 0 to stop it. And then, of course, we have the negative version of that. We have negative 127. Servo, that one has a mechanical stop in it as well. It only will go 127 degrees one way and 127 degrees the other way. So if I type in 127, you'll be able to watch this one. It's the one in the middle. It will just move and will stop. move to 127. I could do negative 127, and you'll be able to watch it move back and stop. This is how you can maybe set something to move to a particular place and then stay there. The big difference you'll notice when you're putting motors and servos on, all of the motors have 2 wires, just the red and the black. Servo, it has 3, black, yellow or orangey, and white. That's how you can tell the difference between those two if for some reason you decide you can't read that back green piece. So hopefully this was helpful for you and you can figure out how to turn some motors on and off. We'll reset our servo back to 0. And as you're going with this, hopefully you have a good time. Hopefully you enjoy working with these robots and RobotC program. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button below. And if you want to see more tutorials like this, please subscribe to the channel and you can check out all of the other things I have in there related to my engineering classes and my math classes. And if you happen to have a suggestion for another video, you can always drop that in the comment section. And I do listen to your comments, so please write those down there. I can read them. I can improve based on that. You can also follow me on social media to keep up to date with what I'm doing in the classroom. My Twitter is Mr. Hartzler Math, and my Instagram is just Mr. Hartzler. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.